Goose Chasers, welcome back to another hump day. Humpity hump. Gotta love that. Midway through the week. Hope y'all are feeling fresh, frisky, and the week is going better than expected, right? I mean, why would we think of anything less, you know? Let's just think better than expected. You know, because the universal law is going to tell us, is going to manifest what we're thinking. Our mind is going to control our week, good, bad, or indifferent. So hopefully you guys are having a fantastic week so far, rocking the Cavs gear today because actually as I am recording this, we are going into game one of the second round of the playoffs versus the Boston Celtics. Fuck yourselves. But had a pretty crazy game on Sunday. Game 7 went down to the wire with the Orlando Magic. For all you basketball fans out there, you know what I'm talking about. NBA playoffs are in full swing right now, and it's getting pretty crazy. Timberwolves are up 2-0 on the defending champs, if I am not mistaken. Let me check my sources real quick. Real quick. But the Cavs got another one today. Yeah, Timberwolves beat the Nuggets by 26. The defending champs beat them by 26. Also, the Knicks won yesterday. Fuck yourselves. And they beat the Pacers. Kind of a bad call at the end. But that seems to be the story of the NBA this year. You know, a lot of bad calls, a lot of refereeing issues, a lot of replay issues. Things of that nature. Boys flopping around like dead fish out of water. Calling fouls that aren't really fouls. The NBA's gotten a little tick-tacky these days if I don't know. That's just what I think. That's my opinion. They've gotten a little tick-tacky with the fouls. They've gotten a little tick-tacky with the calls that are being made. And just the game in general has kind of changed a lot from, you know, that Michael Jordan that Michael Jordan era that everybody refers to. But nonetheless, Cavs got a dub on Sunday. Big game. First half, you didn't want to see me. I didn't want to see me. I didn't want to see the game. The Cavs were playing like absolute shit. They're letting this rookie-ass team in Orlando Magic just run all over them like nothing. And then it felt like nobody gave a shit. Like there was no heart on the team. And then the second half rolls around. We kind of went on a little run at the end of the first half. Second half rolls around. Donovan Mitchell steps up. Controls the game. Controls the tempo. Leads the Cavs to a Game 7 victory. Moving on in the playoffs. Capping off our first postseason series win since the LeBron James era. And before that, it was like 1993, I believe. Your boy was a mere 6 years old. So that was good for the city of Cleveland. That was good for the organization. Now we move on to play Boston. They are the juggernaut of the Eastern Conference. Go fuck yourselves. But honestly, I feel like we match up. I feel like we match up better against them than we do the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic was a big, tall team, outsized us in pretty much every position. Like man to man, they were inches bigger than us in every position. So naturally, the rebounding was tough. Defense was super tough. Getting 3-point shots up was definitely tough, and then protecting the rim. So I don't know. I think we match up pretty well against the Celtics. I think we played them pretty well during the regular season. I think the series in the regular season was 2-1 in favor of the Cavaliers. And the one game that we lost, I believe we didn't have like 2, maybe 3 of our starters, Donovan Mitchell being one of them. So it's going to be exciting. Fun game this evening. I'm looking forward to watching it. And that's why I got my Cavs gear on, because when I was watching the game on Sunday, when we were getting our asses kicked, I was shirtless on the couch, just vegging out, just hanging out, vegging out. I hunted some public land earlier that morning. Percy Priest, public land down here in Tennessee. Was chasing around a few gobs, but they're getting a little tight-lipped. Nonetheless, sunrise is earlier and earlier these days, and I was literally we had boat access only on Percy Priest on Sunday, and I was at the boat launch at 4:50, and it was a 45-minute drive. So I was up at 3:30, coffee, shit, shower, shave, the old run around, got in the truck, got to the boat launch 4:50. And it's already getting light. Like, you're already starting to see the sky breaking a little bit. And my buddy Tyler and I, we chased around birds for till like 11 o'clock. I mean, it was a solid 6+ hour stint in the turkey woods. Like I said, we were on them a couple times. Kind of went back and forth with these birds. We were on the river, cruising down the river. We had just cut the motor, and we were working with the trolling motor. We marked a couple spots on OnX that had big crop fields on either side of the river. And, the river, the way that it flows, the banks are pretty high. I bet they got to be every bit of 12 to 15 feet high, so you can't see up and over the banks at all, but you can kind of see the openings of the fields because they're not that far, probably like a 20-yard gap of hardwoods, and then you got wide open fields. Well, we're cruising down the river. We cut the motor because we got to a point where we were coming up on some of the fields that we had marked on OnX maps, and we're like, man, they looked like solid roosting spots. It looked like it was definitely far away from any foot traffic outside of like the properties and residents that bordered the public land on the other side from the river. You really can't get into these spots. So we felt pretty good about where we were at, and we're cruising down the river, cut the motor. We're working the trolling motor, just getting to the point where we're like, man, we might want to try and start finding a spot where we can beach this boat and then get up the bank and, creep into these fields, because we're getting to a good area. And literally, we didn't even have time to blink, and this bird erupted with a gobble, literally right next to us on the river, literally on the tree, or in the tree that was on the riverbank. Like, this thing was gobbling over us. We were horrified. We literally, both of us almost fell out of the boat. Couldn't believe it. Not to mention, at this point, we are in like plain wide open sight. So we kind of tried to turn the boat around and get back. It was right at the bend of this river, so we tried to get back around the corner of this bend so that the bird wouldn't see us or would just calm down. And as we were doing that, he pitched down across the river onto the other side, and there was another bird that we could hear that flew down on that same side of the river that he flew down on. So we chased those birds, like I said, for 5 or 6 hours. They ended up on private land, pretty far away, and we damn it, my light's going out. No, don't do this to me. Don't do it to me. But yeah, we chased these birds around, and they were henned up. They knew what they wanted. They knew where they were at. They knew where they were safe, and we unfortunately could not catch up to them. So it was fun, though. Very fun. A blast being on the river for the day. I'm sorry, it was a blast being on that public land for the day, and just learning it. I love exploring new ground. I love seeing new places. All the while, like, as we're walking through this public land, like I'm looking at deer sign, I'm looking at trails coming out into these crop fields, and I'm just like marking my OnX maps. It looks like a damn, I don't know, dartboard that's filled up with darts. But I was just, kind of killing two birds with one stone. Don't get into that area very much. It was cool. I will definitely be back there, maybe in turkey season again. And if not in turkey season, definitely a place to explore for deer season. The way that the fields lay out, they were all, or about half and half, beans to corn. And the ones that were corn last year are probably going to be beans this year and vice versa. And the ones that are beans this year are probably going to hold a lot of deer throughout the summertime. So definitely a spot to go back to. Fun stuff. But yeah, I was on the couch, getting back to it. I was on the couch enjoying the game, shirtless, just vegging out. And then halftime came around. I'm like, you know what? I gotta switch up the moj. I gotta switch up the mojo. And so I did. And I went into my closet. I got the trusty old Cavs shirt. And here we are. Put it on. They came back, got the dub in strong and commanding fashion. And so I'm rocking it all day today. Not taking it off. Haven't washed it. Not taking it off. Not till the game's over with. And we'll assess the situation from there. How's that sound? So, that's it. Also, I watched the Tom Brady roast. And if you haven't seen that yet, I urge you and I encourage all of you to go watch it. It's on Netflix. It was actually a live show on Netflix on Sunday night, I believe. Sunday or Monday. I think it was Sunday. Either way, that was one of the funniest probably the funniest roast that I've ever witnessed. And just the comedy in itself was fantastic. It was fantastic. Like, there had to be 20 different, between comedians and old teammates, there had to be 20 different people that roasted Tom Brady. Special guest Peyton Manning came out at the end. Hilarious. Bill Belichick came out. Fucking hilarious. And all of these dudes, all of these guys, especially the football guys, you know, the guys that got to be all prim and proper for the media when you watch them on TV and when you're watching them on Sundays and Monday nights, and they've got to, you know, say the perfect things. They've got to act in a certain way. That wasn't the case here. It was cut loose time, and they all literally cut loose, did not hold back. It was fucking hilarious. It was hilarious. It's 3 hours. It's over 3 hours long. It is a marathon to watch. But honestly, it kept me engaged the entire time. I was literally laughing my ass off from start to finish. Some of the old comedians that they had, oh man, what was the one dude, the bald dude's name? He's always on roast and stuff. Something Josh something. Either way, they had Andrew Schwartz on there. They had Bert Kreischer on there. Kevin Hart was the host. He was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, hilarious. They had this one chick on there. I think her name was Sarah something. She was hilarious. Literally had me dying laughing. I'm trying to think of who else. Who else was on there? I mean, Gronk was on there. Julian Edelman was on there. Amendola, Randy Moss. They had Willie McGinnis was up there hanging out. A couple of his O linemen were just, they didn't roast them, but they were up there hanging out. Who else? I said Belichick. He came out. That was freaking hilarious. I don't know. Kim Kardashian came up. One of this other podcaster, I can't remember his name right now either, but man, Dana White did a little bit. It was just absolutely It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Um, I don't even know. I want to like mimic or I want to say some parts from it. Like they literally dogged on him for his divorce, his wife and that whole situation, how like basically he chose football over his family. They dogged on him about deflating the footballs, obviously, Deflategate and then Spygate and I don't know, different rings. They were talking all about his like extreme health, like his TB12 line and what he eats and how beautiful of a human he is. It was phenomenal. And then he got a chance to roast everybody at the end, and I think that was even better. If I'm not gonna lie to you, I think that was even better. But my goodness, it was so pure, and it was so relieving to watch because so much of what was said is shit that people get canceled for now. And I mean, you're not going to, like, it was all on live TV. I don't really know how you're going to cancel anybody after that, but yeah, really, really well done. Some hilarious skits, some hilarious things said, and just the athletes that were just cutting loose because of it and kind of opening up and showing a little bit more of their personality. It was phenomenal. So good. Good job, Tom. Good job, Kevin Hart and the rest of the gang at Netflix. That was good stuff. When you do watch it, make sure you message us and let me know what you thought, because I think you're going to just have a ball. I really do. Anywho, I'm getting fresh off of a turkey hunt from this morning. Problem is, the giblets are not talking very much anymore down here. They're not talking very much anymore, and it's making it very difficult. The property they have to hunt is thick. I got to call them into it. They're not roosting on it. So that's been the tough part is hearing them in the roost and kind of pinpointing a spot to really go after them. Past couple times I've been down there, I haven't really heard much, although I know, including the bird that I got, between the property I hunt and just the two neighbors, 6 birds went down. 6. So that could have something to do with it. But driving around, still seeing birds. Saw a couple hens this morning. Beautiful morning out there. Quiet. A lot of other birds talking. Heard the neighbor's rooster clickety-cloo-clack-cluing away. And, yeah, man, I don't know what to do. I was on my way home and coming down this back road, and I see this bird in full strut kind of come up over this hill, slow my truck down. As soon as I slowed my truck down, he went out of strut. I picked my glasses up, looked at him, gobbler, big-ass beard, dragging on the ground. I'm like, damn. So I get on my OnX, start looking. I see who the property owner is. I see they own property right across the street. I see the tax address is somewhere. I know that it's in the vicinity, but I was pretty sure at the time, without looking at my like maps and GPS, that it wasn't right there. So I flip around, I come back. There's a little like vacant house across the street from where I saw the bird. The bird was on a 30-acre little patch. Right across the street's about 160 acres. And the tax address is about 10 miles away. Kind of on my way home. It was on the way, like on a different way home that I don't normally go. But I'm like, you know what? Nah, fuck it. Let's just go for a drive. Let's go see what the house looks like. See what the situation is. So I go driving over there. You know, I'm cruising along, and I'm like, I don't know what this is going to be about, whatever. I mean, by the time I get all the way over there and all the way back, is the bird even going to be there anymore? Probably not. But, hey, you know, I'm looking for a bird. I see a bird. So why not see if I can pursue it? So I go by this house. Both garage doors are closed. There's like one, like, looks like a shitty old pickup truck out on, like, in kind of like the side yard. But it didn't really look like anybody was home. So I drive up to the next main road. I flip around again. And I'm coming back. And, I mean, this is literally like 6 minutes later. And I'm coming back. And one of the garage doors is open. I'm like, holy shit. And so now I'm like kind of looking at myself in the rearview mirror, and I'm like, motherfucker, you drove all this way. You gonna knock on that door? You gonna nut up and knock on that door? You gonna be a little bitch about it? Naturally, I kept driving, and I, felt like a little bitch about it, honestly. And I just drove a couple miles down the road, and I'm like, dude, like, there's a bird in that field. And the field was surrounded by 2 creeks. There wasn't a ton of trees, but the one creek, it was kind of like this drainage ditch. And I'm like, man, based on where he's at and based on that drainage ditch, I could get down that drainage ditch with a fan and I could pop up. I could give him the old sneak and peek. And when I peek and I got that fan up, he was already in full strut. His head was red. He was fired up, but he was alone. So I'm like, I could do that. So I'm like, all this is going through my head. I'm like, the bird is right there. He's freaking right there. He's 100 yards off the road. I'm like, fuck. David, don't be a bitch. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy. You drove by, the garage door was closed, you flipped around, you drove by again, the garage door was open. That means somebody's home. Don't be a bitch. So I turned around again. I turned around. I start going back towards where the house is. And I get like kind of right out in front of the house. Driveway is pretty long. Big front yard. Driveway is pretty long. And I get, like, I'm pulling up to the house. Now I see a vehicle outside of the garage with the garage still open. And I'm like, the inner bitch in me's like, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. And the fucking man in me's like, dude, take a left. Pulled in there. I pull in and I stop my truck kind of like midway up the driveway. It's knocking on doors anymore is just a very interesting thing. Like, people don't want you knocking on their door anymore. You ever seen the Sebastian Maniscalco skit where he like talks about back in the day, I'm talking about when I was young, probably like 20, 25 years ago. Somebody knocked on your door at that point, and it was like a celebration. It was like somebody's here to visit. It was like, let's go to the door as a family and welcome them into our home. What do you need? You need some coffee? You need some Sanka? You want some crumble cake that's sitting out of here for fucking a week and a half now? You can have the last piece. And then you got together and you just hung out. There was no social media. You didn't know where everybody was at. So the fact that somebody showed up at your door, that was a blessing. But now somebody knocks on your door and you fucking run upstairs, and you're looking out the second story window trying to peek around the gutter of the second story roof line to see who is on your front porch. Is it the pizza guy? Is it the mailman? Is it a Jehovah's Witness? Is it somebody knocking on the door asking for hunting permission? I don't know, and I don't care. I want them gone. So you don't answer the door. Half the time you don't even answer the door. So it's like I feel like that now. I feel like that, I live in an apartment. Somebody knocks on my door. I'm like, what the fuck? Who's here? Why is anybody here? I'm looking through the peephole. Like, who is it? Who's out there? And then opening the door is a whole nother thing. Like, now you're looking, and it's like, if you don't know who the person is, you got to open the door, and you don't know what to expect. I don't want to put anybody in that position feeling like that. I don't know if it's, I'm walking into a house with a older couple, younger couple, single person, older lady. I don't know. I don't want to. I'm not a scary guy, but I don't want to scare anybody either. So I go driving down the driveway. I park midway down the driveway. I'm walking the rest of the way so they can see. Look at me. I'm in shorts. I'm in a t-shirt. I'm just a normal guy walking down your driveway. No harm, no foul. Do not be concerned. David is here. And I'm not here to hurt anybody. So there's a lady outside of this little, I think it was like a Chevy. It was an SUV. She was loading the back of it with like some plants, some flowers and stuff. And so I go and I could see her from afar, and I kind of like, hey, how you doing? I don't know what to say. I just want to hunt your turkeys. But so I say, hey, my name's David. I hunt down the street from you a little bit, and on a neighboring property, and I was driving down the road on my way out. I'm just down here for the day. Little white lie. Just down here for the day, and I wanted to see. Well, when I was leaving, I saw a turkey on your property, and I got this app, and it shows me property lines and who owns the property and stuff like that. So I just wanted to be a nice guy, and I wanted to come over here and ask instead of just, going and shooting your bird. Because I would never do that. I would never trespass and whack somebody else's bird. That's mean. That's illegal. It's not right. So the lady ended up being a caretaker, and she's like, well, so-and-so, she's really old. She's in a wheelchair, and her husband passed away, and her son actually passed away last year, and he was the one that took care of the properties, and he didn't let anybody hunt. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, I just really wanted to, try it for one day. I'll just down here for the day. I'll just be in there for the day. Just one day. Trying to lessen the load. Trying to lighten the, I just wanted to lighten the whole energy and just, So she's like, I mean, you could go in there and, just, if anybody asks, don't tell them I told you could do it. But, I think that she's pointing at the house, I think that she's probably going to say no. I'm like, well, is she home? She's like, yeah, she's inside. She's older. She's in a wheelchair. I'm like, I don't want you to, she starts walking inside. She's going to go ask her for me. I'm like, I don't want any trouble. Like, I don't want to make, have her any trouble, whatever. So she's like, no, let me go ask. I'm like, okay, things are looking up. So she goes in there, comes back out of the garage a couple minutes later. She's like, come on in. She wants to talk to you. I'm like, now we're talking, baby. Now we're talking. I've got my things with the older women. And I'm talking 75 plus. I can sweet talk them. I feel good about talking to older women. No, I'm not trying to freak anybody out, or it's just a thing, it's like, I don't know. Anyway, she comes rolling to the door, and I'm like, hey, my name's David. It's explained to her the whole story. This is, I'm hunting down the street on a neighbor's property. I got permission from him, and I saw a turkey. I saw one of your turkeys, and I just wanted to I wanted to hunt one of your birds. Would you let me hunt your turkey just for the day? She's like, well, David, I would, but, once we let one person, we got to let them all. And I just don't know. I just don't know if we can do that, We never let anybody hunt, and I just don't think that that's a good idea. And I'm like, well, no, I understand completely. I wanted to come and ask because I respect you as a landowner, and I respect the land in general. And I'm only going to be hunting for the day, and I'm just down here for the day, and it's just one day, and I just wanted to see if, for the day, if you would let me hunt just for one day. Only be one day would be out of your hair after today. And unfortunately, she said no. But I just, leaving there, I felt good. I felt good. Like, that was a good conversation. It was nice. She was, she rejected, but it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. You don't win them all. But at the end of the day, the moral of the story is I would have been in my truck on the way home, having not knocked on the door, literally calling myself a huge bitch. Say, your boy's a pussy because he can't even go knock on the door taking about the turkey that he saw on the side of the road. He can't go knocking on the door, but got the turkey sitting right there, but you can't go knocking because you're asking. If you don't ask, you don't know. So why won't you not ask? So I felt good about myself in that regard. She said no. Sorry. There's no crazy story about me going in there, reaping that son of a bitch and just smacking him in the face after I seduced the old 85-year-old woman in the wheelchair to let me hunt on her property. But you win some, you lose some. I felt good about the situation after I left. I tried. That's all you can do, folks. You try. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And as Michael Jordan says, and as your boy says all the time, I want the ball in my hands with the game on the line. So give me it. Give me the fucking ball. But I had the ball. I got passed to it. I had a corner three wide open. I shot it off the rim. Game over. Is what it is. Hey, we'll be back out there tomorrow. No big deal. On another note, and at this point, you've already saw the post, so you already know this if you've been following along with the turkey season that we've been having, which is probably our best turkey season yet. Before today, 5 birds down for the crew. After today, 6 birds down for the crew. Day's not even over yet. Oh, spoiler alert. Another bird went down for the crew today. Another bird went down for the crew today. Dino got one up in New York. Proud of the little bugger. He works so hard. But he got one. He coaxed them in. And I'm proud of him. So I'm sitting there. It's like 6:15 my time, 6 o'clock maybe. Hearing nothing. It's already broad daylight. Sunrise is like 5:45 or something here. It's insane. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just, I wasn't sitting anywhere. I was actually standing in the middle of this little wide open field area, just listening. Periodically checking my phone on the Moultrie Mobile app because I like doing that and keeping up. I know Dean's in the woods in New York, and we got a lot of Moultrie Mobiles in the woods in New York, and I'm like, it's kind of cool. You could be in the hunt on your phone in Tennessee, but you're in New York, So I'm checking the cameras. I'm like, and Dean texted me that he was fired up in the roost, knew where he was roosted. He set up on the edge of one of our food plots where the bird has been frequenting, so to speak. And so I knew, I'm like, Dino's going to be in the chips. Dino's going to be in the chips. And he said they flew down. He had a hen answering him. and the hen's answering him, and the gobbler is going off. I'm like, dude, just be patient. Just be patient. They're coming. They're going to make their way to that food plot. And lo and behold, they did. And Dino smacked the cheeks off of a gobbler that we called Gus. We nicknamed this bird Gus a couple years ago. He typically roosts in the same spot year after year. And the bastard is a tough bastard to kill. He's a tough bastard to kill. Obviously, we haven't been able to kill him yet, but he ain't going to be a tough bastard to kill no more because Dino let him have it. And I'm looking at some footage right now. Like, I want to show you guys. Hold on a second. Maybe I'll hold this up to the camera. This was Dino this morning. So I'm standing there, and I'm looking at the Moultrie Mobiles, and on the plot that he's on, or on the backside of the plot that he's on, all of a sudden a hen shows up on that camera. And I'm like, based on where I know he is and where she came from, she's either about to roll that gabby right out into that plot for old Dino, or she already did and he already gone. And the latter was the true portion of the two of those. So I'm sitting there waiting. A couple minutes goes by, and this is what I get on the camera. Old Dino fucking coming in front of the Moultrie, creating another Moultrie Mobile moment that we've made popular over this year. Once you shoot a bird, you go in front of the Moultrie Mobile, especially Moultrie Mobiles that are connected to family and friends, and you dangle that bird out in front of there, and you do a little turkey dance because you just tagged a bird. That's what he was doing. That's what I saw. I started fist pumping, high-fiving myself in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, and hooting and hollering. It's funny because it's funny what hunting does to us and to so many people that enjoy this sport to the fullest. Hold on a second, let me adjust my camera. Because Dean and I this morning are probably close to 700 miles apart. Both of us in the turkey woods, both of us pursuing the same thing. And when I saw that picture come through and then I got the text from Dean, I'm celebrating as if I'm in the field with him. And I don't know that there's many other things that could really have that effect on me, on you, like on anybody. But with as much work that we pour into this and with as much work that, y'all pour into this as well, it's like when your brother shoots something, your dad, your uncle, your best hunting buddy, whatever, when they get something, hopefully for you, it is as exciting, if not more, than it is for them. Like, I was so pumped for Dean because he's been hard at it for the last week or so of turkey season up there. They've had him and my dad have had a couple close calls, but he's up there by himself doing his thing in the woods, and he got it done. And I was just super pumped, super proud of him, super pumped, and just even though we're 700 miles apart, I'm celebrating as if we're standing next to each other and I can high five and chest bump him in the field. And that's just how we roll, For us, hunting is not a competition. It's funny. So many people, like, Dean would shoot a big buck back in the day, and people would be like, oh, are you bummed? Like, he got the big one, Dean got him. And I'm like, bummed? I'm like, I couldn't be more fired up. Like, I couldn't be more pumped that Dean got him. I might be more excited that he got him than if I was to get him myself. And that's just how it is. It's the same way with my dad, Uncle Jay, some of our closest hunting and fishing buddies. And it's just like that moment is so meant to be celebrated no matter what. So no matter if that bird's got 1/4-inch spurs, 1.25-inch spurs, or 2.25-inch spurs, and a 8-inch beard, a 9-inch beard, a 10-inch beard, or a 17-inch beard. That shit doesn't matter. Boy, just got it done. Cutlets on the skillet. We're celebrating. Whether we're in Ohio, New York, Tennessee, North Dakota, Kansas, Florida, California. Well, we ain't going to be in California, so that... Canada. But we're, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. We're celebrating. We're celebrating. Those texts, those moments, no matter where you are, what you're doing, it's a feeling of success for us as a crew. It's a feeling of success for us as a group. And Dean has molded me and made me a better hunter over the years. And so it's like we're in it together. Like that's obviously the case. We're 100% fully in it together, but it's as if I would have shot that bird myself. That's how excited I am. Almost to the point where at 6:15 my time, I'm ready to just pack it in and call it a hunt because I'm like, bro, got it done. Like, we're good for today. We're good. Success of the day. Let's go back to work. Let's go get some breakfast. Let's just relax and not put so much pressure on this. And let's just enjoy the moment. Bird down. Let's celebrate. And so I did end up going back and sitting for a while. Dean called me, and I literally got the decoys out 20 yards in front of me, and I'm on the phone with him. Got the GoPro going. Just trying to, enjoy that moment with him, even though we're not, proximity-wise, we're not standing right next to each other. And I'm grateful for that. Like, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful that that's the way that we go about our business. That's the way that we handle things. And Dean was the same way when I shot my bird a week ago. No different than Uncle Jay and Chris knocking down the 4 birds between the 2 of them. We're all equally as happy. And I'm so grateful for that and for the people to be able to share it with, because anymore, like, the older I get, that is the most important part. That is the reason. That's why we're doing it. That's what fuels us, and it goes back to our younger years and just getting started hunting. And I think we hunted with my dad and Uncle Jay so much. We hunted with them for so many years without carrying the weapon that it taught us even more to, like, root for the guy that you're standing next to, root for the guy that you're hunting with, root for your buddy, your neighbor, your family member, whatever, and their success, because that was our success in the early days. Like, our success hunting was watching my dad shoot a buck with a bow, or watching Uncle Jay shoot a buck with a bow, or during gun season. And the man drive portion of our gun season is watching one of the guys from our crew, shoot a buck or shoot a doe. Anything that we could celebrate was celebrated. And I'm extremely grateful for that. I'm grateful for the people in my life that have made that a thing, and that have brought me up in a family of hunters and fishermen, outdoorsmen, to be able to enjoy that. Because today, I didn't hear one gobble this morning. I didn't hear one gobble. I saw 2 hens. It was a very uneventful hunt for me, but I am riding out the rest of this day on an all-time high for my brother, because he got it done, and I'm feeling the success right along with him. And that is what Tag and Brag's all about. That's what we're all about. That's the value that is hunting. And we got a group text going with all of our Rutweed crew right now that's literally been blowing up all day, and Dean is the focal point of that. And that's cool. Like, I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for our crew, for, the 6th bird down of the season. And we haven't even gotten to our New York trip yet. So we've got a lot to look forward to over the next couple weeks of the, as we close out the season. We've got a lot to look forward to throughout the rest of the year. And this truly is 2024, the will not be denied tour. I've said it since January 1. I mean it with all of my heart. It is manifesting through the squad right now, and I couldn't be happier that, our season luck has turned around. We got 6 birds down already. We've got a pretty good bulk of the season left to go. And outside of the bird numbers, it's just the successful feeling that we're having with each other, I think, that means the most, and that we're kind of riding off of and rolling into the rest of the season. So if y'all ain't gotten anything yet this turkey season, stay with it. Focus on the will not be denied portion of it. You're going to be down. You're going to have hardships throughout the season. Love them. Love every one of those hardships. It's notching another notch on your belt. It's putting a little chip on your shoulder. It's learning you something. It's making you a better hunter, whatever that scenario is, even if the scenario is quiet, okay? Even if the scenario is quiet, it's forcing you to think outside the box. It's forcing you to maybe go knock on that door, make that phone call, whatever it is, to up your game a little bit. Do it. Do it. Listen to it. In the times of turmoil, in the times in the times where you're not, quote unquote, successful, or you're not feeling successful, lean into it and feel it. Why? And then go that way. Ladies and gentlemen, Tag and Brag Nation, Goose Chasers, thank you all for hanging out with us. Another solo episode this week. Once again, Dino's breasting a bird right now. His hands are dirty. He can't be doing this shit. But we thank you all for joining us once again this week and every week. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to follow along with all of the latest turkey hunting vlogs. We're going to be dipping right into Food Plot Chronicles after this turkey season. So we've got some more great turkey hunts in store. If you haven't seen any of our turkey hunts yet, go to our YouTube channel and check out some of our most recent posts. There's some awesome hunts on there, some awesome non-kill hunts, and some awesome kill hunts as well. So we appreciate you following along. Drop us a line on YouTube. Leave something in the comments for us. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And we'll see you right back here next Wednesday on Goose Chasing. Hey, chase that. Chase that hard feeling. Chase it. And lead with that energy the rest of the week. And if you need some pick-me-up, you know where to find us. We're here for you. We're all in this together. As hunters, we are one. Never forget that. And hunt for you. Hunt to have fun. And may the arrow, the bullet, or whatever projectile you are projectiling fly true. I love each and every one of you and appreciate each and every one of you more than you know. Thank you. We'll see you next Wednesday. Peace.